That goddamn MC Hammer, very serious about beef. Y'all laugh and y'all joke about Hammer. No, 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 no. That nigga was deep with niggas.
Tell somebody to somebody up his people would just do it. We from Oakland. Like he wouldn't even have to say it. They just, if somebody was making Hammer uncomfortable. Without him saying, I'm uncomfortable, somebody around him would have came to you and said, quit making Hammer uncomfortable. Hammer with raw dog. He did his thing. I actually used to like Hammer. You know what I'm saying? On the real tip, people be talking, talking about Hammer, but run upon Hammer beat. Bet beat up on everyone's been buzzing out Diddy being the boogeyman of hip-hop, and don't get me wrong, Diddy is definitely not someone you'd want to cross paths with, but let's spill the really here. The true B-man of hip-hop is none other than McHammer. Yes, you heard that. Right? Don't the optics fool you. Hammer was not the one to play with whether people understand it or not. There is a certain amount of murder and depth that comes along.
Whether people understand it or not, there is a certain amount of murder and depth that comes along with the game. That's a part of doing business.
At mimicking his flashy style and pop-friendly beats. But here's the juicy part. They had no idea that Hammer was secretly one of the most dangerous players in the game. Picture this: MC Hammer once checked Redman so hard that Red Man had to eat his words and apologize. And that's not even the half of it. Word on the street is that Hammer even put out a $50,000 hitting someone who disrespected him. And get this, what on the street is that McHammer is the only man Sue Knight was afraid of. For those in the know, it's no secret that Hammer had a serious goon squad at his disposal. These weren't just any entourage members, they were loyal, well-connected, and ready to handle the business. Hammer's street ties ran deep, giving him the level of respect and fear that a lot of folks underestimated. So next time you hear someone talking about Diddy's reign of terror, just remember who the real king of fear in hip-hop is. If you know, you know. MC Hammer wasn't just a pop sensation. He was a force to be reckoned with. And if you don't know, well, let me fill.
Now, what person in the world would you like to have a private conversation with?
Who would I like to talk to the most right now? Vanilla Ice.
Just how, despite the free internet, these young hip-hop fans still manage to question the street cred of some certified OGs, while one such OG, McHammer, is getting a major spotlight again, reminding everyone that, despite his dance-friendly image, he was absolutely not to be messed with. Here's the tea. Anthony Duckett from Houston's Apollo Media posted this on X with a photo with Hammer chilling with shite Snoop Dogg, and Tupac. Duckett captioned, "Itty, don't think I've ever seen anyone more out of place than Hammer was in this photo, lol." And oh boy, did that open the floodgates of actually responses from those in the knot. Duckett, bless his heart, left the post up for everyone to see and pick apart, even wondering aloud why. People were getting so heated, folks were quick to educate Duckett with the facts about Hammer's infamous street ties, sharing videos and stories from Oakland legends like Too Short and Redman. And you know what? After scrolling through the replies, it turns out that Hammer might have been the most dangerous man in that photo. Now these days, Hammer's living the good life, enjoying his past chart-topping success in commercial deals, but let's not forget there was a time when Hammer was all about handling business. If anyone dared to disrespect him, MC Hammer, whose real name is Stanley Kirk Burrell, was born on March 30th, 1962, in Oakland, California. Hammer's story is a true rags to riches tale. His dad was quite the character, a professional poker player and gambling casino manager, while also holding down a job as a warehouse supervisor. Meanwhile, his mom worked as a secretary, trying to make ends meet for their big family. Growing up was no cakewalk for Hammer. His mom and 8 siblings all squeezed into a tiny 3-bedroom apartment in East Oakland, but the Bureau made the best of it, spending time at their horse races and even becoming successful owners of some winning horses. Now here's what it gets interesting. Young Hammer wasn't just about struggling at home. He was hustling in the Oakland Coliseum parking lot, selling stray baseballs and showing all the dance moves with a beatboxer. His flair eventually caught the eye of Oakland Athletics owner Charlie Finney, who hired 11-year-old Hammer as a clubhouse Assistant and bat boy, but from 1973 to 1980, Hammer was more than just a bat boy, he was the eyes and ears for team's absentee owner Charlie Finley, who lived in Chicago. Former MLB star Reggie Jackson was the one who gave him the nickname Hammer because he looked like another MLB legend, Hank Aaron, known as the Hammer. But wait, it gets better. Hammer was such an important informant in the clubhouse that he earned the nickname Pipeline Finley, even joked about making him the executive vice president, giving him a special hat, and all Raleigh fingers would play along, telling everyone to be quiet when Pipeline walked in. As for Hammer's nickname MC, it came from his time performing as a master of ceremonies at different clubs while traveling with Diaz, and later in the military. He dreamed of being a professional baseball player, playing second base in high school, but didn't make the cut at a San Francisco Giants tryout. Still, he stayed connected to the sport, playing in the Taco Bell All-Star Legends and Celebrity Softball game, always representing Oakland with his AAP. After graduating from M. Clements High School, Hammer tried college but wasn't feeling it, and when his baseball dreams didn't pan out, he joined the Navy for 3 years. After he was honorably discharged, Hammer decided to focus on music and started producing for other artists. Meanwhile, he borrowed $2,000 each from former Oakland players like Mike Davis and Dwayne Murphy, and with that cash, he launched his own independent record label business, Busted Productions. Busted Records eventually gave birth to Busted Records, and between the two companies, they had over 100 employees. Hammer was out there recording singles, marketing himself relentlessly, and his unique dances moves made him a stand-up. He rebranded himself as Machammer Heimer and recorded his debut album Fill My Power in 1986. The album wasn't just a hit, it sold over 60,000 copies, and thanks to Hammer's non-stop street marketing and radio play, his music became a staple at dance clubs in the scene. Francisco Bay Area. His big break came in 1988 while performing in an Oakland club where he dazzled a record executive who didn't know who he was, but knew he was somebody special. And despite having turned down major record labels, before Hammer finally signed a multi-album contract with Capitol Records with a whopping $750,000 advance, and let me tell you, Capitol recouped their investment in no time. Hammer's rise was unstoppable, and his electrifying stage presence really set him apart from his peers. But you know what else set him apart? The fact that he quickly gained a reputation as the most low-key feared man in hip-hop. Let me fill you in on just some of Hammer's most gangster moments. See, Hammer eventually signed with Death Row Records, and I'm not saying that alone makes him actually dangerous, but people seem to not know that this man took their beefs to a whole different level, while other rappers were going back and forth in songs. MC Hammer would put out hits on people who dissed him. Take third base member MC Search. He claims that Hammer put a $50,000 hit on the group all because of a little lyric in their song, The Cactus. The controversial line, "The Cactus turned Hammer's mother out," was supposedly a cheeky play on their 1989 album, The Cactus album, and Hammer's track from the same year turned this mother out. Now fast forward to 2015, and Search dished even more details on The Lover Show, revealing that he received death threats from none other than Machammer brother Lisis Burrell during a flight to Lay All Right. So okay, so here it is. So Cactus album comes out, right? And people on the West Coast loved it, like we just played one time, gaffled them up. And McKate says, "I was in my car bumping the Cactus, right?" Album was huge in the West Coast. There was a verse on the album on the song called The Cactus, okay, that Pete Nice says the cactus turned Hammer's mother out. Oh, okay. Now the line was a creative line because his album was called Turn Mother and our album was called The Cactus. So we were saying our album was Doer, but we were saying it New York slick, like we had some slick talk coming out our mouth, right? Hammer thought we were talking about us, his Momo. So we have this big event all planned at the Palace in Lauhu. We're giving away a Jeep on KDY, which was the first hip-hop's 24 high up, right? And I've never been to Laso. I'm taking a wife. I got Chantel with me. Pete got his girl with him. Rich got this girl with him. Like we're excited, like we're going to lay Like this is a big movement. This is going to be a movie, right? We're in the air. And Carmen Ashurst Watson, who was the president of DEFM at the time, picks up the phone and hears somebody say, "Oh, it's third base in their way to land." She goes, "Yeah." And the voice says, "Good, they're dead." This is Lisa Spurland, hangs up. Wow, now fast forward to 2018 and Search shared more details about what went down after that phone call, and get this. He said he's still not over the whole trauma and has been in therapy ever since walk-in, and it's the day after the American Music Awards, and we walk into Greg Mack, and we're all excited, and Greg Mack is shaking our hands, and we're all happy-dappy, and excited to be on the morning show, and why cracks the McTurns at Onk Day. Diem. Third base is here. Probably the Environment release album party tomorrow at the Palace. And we're giving away that the third base Jeep. But we got a special person on the phone right now. 5 American Music Awards last night. He stayed up on our behalf. MC Hammer's on the phone. Hammer, how you doing? Hey Greg, man, I'm great, yo. It's great to talk to you. I day. He goes, yo, I heard you had something you wanted to say to third base. He's like, well, I just want to tell them No, I don't think it's cool for somebody to, disc their mom in a record like, I don't think that's cool now, mind you, and never said that lyric. Pete said the lyric, right? So I look over to Pete, your rhyme dude, say something, nothing. So I'm like, all right. So I said, what I said? Man, if I said, if you feel like we diss your matriarchal, that's okay. But you know what you did, What's going on in these streets? Why don't you man up and see me face to face so we can figure this out, stop being gay? He takes a call live. Greg Mack, who's this rolling 60 and word we out security, grabs us. We run out the building. We get into the van. We start heading down the hill. There's 2 blue cars. And these dudes get out Mc11S, pointing at the vehicle. Pookie jumps out, throws his signs up. They get back. And they leave. And when we went to sound check, the entire Palace, which is next across the street from the Capitol building, is sired circled by blue vehicles, 'cause Rolling 60. The Rolling 60 got like 50,000 members, so they can't get to everybody, and we can't not show like it's not going to happen. Big D is with my conception the whole time he's standing next to him. He goes to a recording session for We're all in the same gang. Hammer's there. Hammer and Mike have words. I don't know what was said. I heard it was something to the effect of Hammer asking Mike, why weren't they dead yet? And he says it in front of Big D, and they figure out that the only way to protect us to get into the Palace that night is we have to go into security, so we're in Kevlar. A CAI, I think it was a CS Security was the name of the security company. We got the jackets, we got the hats, we got dark glasses. I'm saying goodbye to my girl. She's crying at the Hyatt 'cause they want to make sure we get in first stand. So we're in a dark van, and we see nothing but dudes just circling the venue. We get into the venue. Anyone, if you had blue socks, they told you to leave the building. My biggest issue to this day is I can't get over it, because I would love to get to a place in my life where I could just give him a pound and be like, it's in the past, like, understand, like, and have an understanding, like, yo, it was just a witty rye. Your name of your album was Stern. This mother out there album was the Cactus. The Cactus turned Hammer's mother out. It was a dope line. I'm good. I'm not good. I've gone through 25 years of therapy 3 days a week. I am not good. I wish I could be good now. Let's talk about Redman, because he also made the mistake outsing Hammer's family and quickly earned his lesson. So back in 1992 on his album, What the Album, Redman threw shade at Hammer and his parents. In an interlude titled Funky Uncles, the line went, everybody yelling hammer time, hammer time. He ain't his mama, ain't his daddy. Ain't is ain't. Nobody is. Well, fast forward to 1995, when Redman and Hammer crossed paths on the set for the final episode of Why TV Raps. Hammer approached Redman and delivered a stern warning. Redman later spilled to TV that he was literally chased out of Oakland by Hammer's affiliates, and as for that warning from Hammer, Redman said he got the message loud and clear. Yo, I said listen to my first album when I did this skit, and I was like, You know what that goddamn McHammer, the whole N that came up to me on TV Cribs? On the last episode they had where everybody out on not MTV Cribs, sorry, about that I'm Zone, I'm on the last Dr. Dre, and a Lover Ush on MTV when they had the last episode IMTVV. Rapsy IEMTV Raps, when the last episode they shot when they had everybody rapping on it, MC Hammer was there that approached me. He was likered, I'ma tell you something you young but I don't allow nobody talking at my mama. You understand me? I said yes sir because we was already in Oakland with EPMD and we damn near had to bounce up out of there for that cruise they had back here we had. To get thee out of here, they wasn't playing we was almost boxed in and I'm at a young age too. I'm like you. This is not playing and he seen me at NTV. Chris Hess shook my hand. He was like you're a youngie. Like what you do, but you just know I don't play nobody talking about my mommin'. I was like, you right I was the cool. I wasn't no. You know, I was like, all right, you know, mean, but I was like, yes sir MC. Hammer, in other words, I got the message I heard about you, and I've seen your work and with the 357 and all. Could do I seen that I'm good, my brother, cuz I got to come to the West Coast and get money. I like it out there. I like the Bay Area, so yeah. You right, I won't talk about your mama, but and just when you thought MC Hammer's legend couldn't get any juicier, E40 and Fat Joe have stepped up to spill. The tea they've confirmed all those stories about Hammer's fierce reputation and Fat Joe are called an interesting encounter at the Las Vegas airport that made him realize Hammer was a tough guy who happened to enjoy dancing and not the other way around as some of your fade. You know one time I bumped into Ham. I only kicked it with him like one time I bumped into him in the airport in Vegas and my buy it in. Seen him, he was like, yo Joe, what's up man, he said, you sit down, let's talk. I'm waiting for the plane and he was like, yeah, you know, I'm not, you know, Hammer, you know, I get it popping for real. I was like, yeah, Hammer, why you tell he said me? Because I do the dance and all that they don't think that he said, yo Joe. You know, I let it go like, you know, it's Hammer time. I couldn't believe Mick was talking like that, yeah. Because, you know you got a real he from Oakland for own he from the town. You know I'm saying he highly respected and connected. You know what I mean? All the fixers and factors know him. He know them. He rock with it heavy. You know what I'm saying? His brother gangster El Burrell. You feel me? You know I'm saying he's an intelligent gangster. You feel me? That's what I trying to tell you like Hammer you. No, sometimes you know it's entertainment. So he tried to let me know we sat down. He was like, you know, get it. I'm a real gangster from Oakland. I was like, Hammer, you ain't got to do this to me. No, he far from a sucker. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and Hammer physically fit. I think Hammer put hands in